Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
Accusations of racial intimidation inside a middle school, but now the students who made the complaints are suspended. What we're learning about what happened inside the school tonight. But we're going to begin with the weather, as it is going to be a rainy morning across Metro Detroit. Good to have you with us at 11. I'm Devin Skillian.
I'm Kimberly Gill. Let's get right over to Kim Adams with a look at what we can expect with the holiday travel season underway, Kim.
Well, it's a little bit better to have a rainy Tuesday than a rainy Thursday, but there are people traveling tomorrow, so we want to make sure that you're prepared for that morning commute. 37 downtown, also at Metro. It is a chilly 33 in Pontiac and 34 in Mount Clemens, 38 down in Monroe. So not only is it going to be raining, but it's going to be that cold rain for your morning commute. We've already seen a little batch of rain come through. This is not the main event. That comes through tomorrow during the morning hours, but we are tracking a few showers moving through downtown Detroit, Taylor, Ecorse, dry in Riverview and Grosse Ile, but raining in Gibraltar. Out at the airport, it's raining lightly, nothing that is affecting travel plans. But if you do have travel plans and you're headed up into parts of Macomb County or over into Oakland County, it is dry, but it will be raining everywhere by your morning commute. It'll be heavy in the morning. We'll get up to a high tomorrow of 47 degrees. But no rain for Thanksgiving. It's going to be a nice day, an improving forecast with temperatures in the upper 40s. We'll look at the rest of the country in case you have bigger travel plans in a few minutes.
All right, Kim, our other top story tonight. Parents of two students say their kids were suspended after they were subjected to racial slurs and alleged threats of violence.
The incident happened earlier this month at Marysville Middle School in St. Clair County. As Pamela Osborne shows us, parents are demanding answers from the school district.
We spoke to two parents tonight who say their students have been dealing with racial intimidation here at Marysville Middle School. They say the district has not done enough to stop it.
It doesn't make sense. Why isn't it being handled immediately?
Marysville Public Schools says it's investigating reports of racial intimidation after parents told Local 4 a middle school student used racial slurs and threatened to bring KKK family members to school to harm black students. The superintendent confirms that investigation includes those alleged threats of violence.
If I were to go to the workplace outside of these school walls and do this in the workplace, I'd be arrested. So why are we allowed in the school setting?
Gary Lokers wants answers and says he feels the district could have done more to prevent the fight that broke out Friday, November 10th. I spoke to the parents of two of the students involved over the phone. They say a day earlier and on many other occasions, their children were subjected to racial slurs and threats. They say they reported the intimidation to administrators, but feel their concerns weren't taken seriously enough. After the fight, the parents say their girls were suspended for 10 days. The district says it cannot share what disciplinary action was taken, but says it's engaging with parents to address the matter further.
If we don't stand up for injustice, injustice will breed more injustice.
We are also hearing from the local NAACP president, Kevin Watkins. He says he is aware of what's been happening here at Marysville Middle School and goes on to say, in part in a statement, we are working with administration to begin to take steps to not only bring about change regarding the individual complaints that have been brought to our attention, but to begin to create change to the systematic issues that have been ingrained in the district for years. The district says it's continuing this investigation further. It will include talking to everyone involved, including witnesses, so that they can reach a fair and just resolution. Reporting in Marysville, I'm Pamela Osborne, Local 4.
All right, Pamela, new at 11. State police searching for clues after putting a stop to alleged human trafficking in one area of Detroit.
Started last week when troopers discovered evidence of human trafficking during a traffic stop involving a reported stolen car in Royal Oak Township. After several days of surveillance, 3 homes in Detroit were identified where possible victims were being kept. Tonight, detectives executed search warrants at 3 homes in Detroit. 18 people are being detained. Investigators are working to identify the victims. If you have any information, contact the National Human Trafficking Hotline. That number is 1-888-373-7888.
A Detroit man is facing several charges after a police chase and shooting that shut down part of I-94 last week. The chase began in Warren. It led to a wild scene on the freeway in Detroit as a police officer opened fire, hitting the driver in the arm. 26-year-old Michael Adkins was released from the hospital, was healthy enough to face several assault and weapons charges, being held right now on a $500,000 cash bond.
In a Local 4 News update, an East Point man is convicted in the drunk driving crash that killed a beloved bar owner. Prosecutors say 42-year-old Eric Compton was driving drunk when he hit a motorcycle carrying 2 people. That happened back in August of 2021. Brad Roof died from his injuries. He owned and ran Kelly's Bar in Hamtramck. His wife was also hurt in the crash. Compton faces up to 40 years in prison. Sentencing is set for January 9th.
Workers at the MGM Grand Casino in Detroit remain on the picket line looking for a better contract. MGM workers voted down the tentative deal that included a $3 raise. The deal would be for 5 years and 4 months, but MGM workers want a shorter contract. Meanwhile, workers at Motor City and Hollywood at Greektown approved their proposed contracts, and they are back on the job tonight.
And as MGM workers continue to strike, the UAW has ratified new contracts with all 3 of the big 3. The union says it has officially ratified new contracts with Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis. Across all 3 companies, 64% of voting members approved the agreements. It includes major provisions, cost of living adjustments, and the elimination of wage tiers.
City of Warren swears in a new mayor for the first time since 2007 as Jim Fouts bids farewell. Former Michigan State Representative Lori Stone was sworn into office today, the first woman to serve as mayor of Michigan's 3rd largest city. She won 53% of the vote in Warren during this year's general election, defeating George Demas. We asked Stone about the biggest challenge facing Warren just before the ceremony.
The biggest challenge facing Warren for me is trust in local government. We've seen that eroded over the years as government in general, but we also see that there's been divisiveness. And our community wants to know that their leaders will work together to make the community a better place to live, work, and play.
Local 4 asked Stone how she'll measure success as mayor. She says quality of life and anything that makes life easier for residents. Some serious holiday sparkle lighting up Oakland County tonight as Rochester flips the switch on 1 million lights blanketing downtown.
It really is beautiful to see as our Mar McDonald is along Main Street tonight as the city celebrates 50 years of this Christmas tradition.
You know, a lot of people just refer to this as the big bright light show. I mean, it certainly is a big bright light show, but it's always been called technically Lagniappe, which means Creole for a little something extra. Every year, it seems Rochester's Downtown Development Authority takes a little something extra and turns it into an annual holiday extravaganza.
It's the magic of the older buildings. The fact that you have these old buildings and they still have their character intact. And then you add the lights to it and it's just something different. It's perfect.
There are more than 1 million lights draped along Main Street, and each November, December, and beginning of January, downtown comes alive at night, not just with the lights, but the shops are open late. The line at Holy Cannoli, it tells the tale.
There's been thousands of shells that we've been making, and we've been making filling for 3 days now, so
Is that all?
Yeah. At least.
We're over 3,000 shells for this event.
And sold out of most flavors. Lagniappe gives Rochester Central Business District a chance to really sparkle. And the kickoff is a typical party, but they did something different this year and closed off Main Street for several hours. A one-night-only event complete with Santa and so much more. For so many families in the area, mine included, this is a yearly event.
I mean, I remember coming down when I was probably about his age, just a little kid coming down to Lagniappe and going in all the shops, and lots of them are changed now, but it's still lots of fun.
As you can see, Santa is perched above there looking exceptionally good. He is the centerpiece to what is a beautiful display along Main Street. And as the ladies at Holy Cannoli reminded me, these little jewels only have 110 calories and a hefty dose of protein. So, you know, really, it's a health food. We're in Rochester. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
It's 110 a piece, though, isn't it?
Yes.
Not always easy to stop with one.
Right,
Yeah, that's
exactly.
great.